Democrats help Republicans on that replacement. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning.
What's going to happen with this vote today in the House? Because we've heard that some Republicans are still on the fence about whether or not to do this procedural vote towards repeal.
Well, it's going to be interesting because some people in the Republican caucus want a straight repeal, and others say repeal and then at some point try to replace it with something. And the Democrats are against any repeal at all. There's really no need to repeal this. Are there things we need to fix? Absolutely. Should we make sure people have their same doctor? And some of these other provisions that we didn't, quite frankly, get right. But you're really throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You know, we have a lot of really good things in here, and there's no reason to repeal it other than the politics of the Republican Party at this point.
So do you think it's going to pass today in the House?
You know what? I don't know. I've been wrong at predicting the Republicans, what they can do here in Congress for a long time. You know, I think it's interesting that they haven't even been able to pass budgets. And now they're saying, well, we're going to repeal Obamacare and we're going to replace it with something different, when in the past they've not had success passing simple budgets. So it's going to be very interesting. I would say they would have the votes if they're going to bring it, but I'm not really sure. But the American people are going to get a big wake-up call when they see the benefits that are being taken away from them now.
Well, as you know, your Republican colleagues, and including the Speaker Paul Ryan last night, said that they are really working to repeal and replace simultaneously. I know you don't want Obamacare repealed, but if that's what happens, will you work with them on how to replace it?
Look, if people are thrown off of their health care, and that happens immediately, that's going to be a real problem that is going to need to be fixed. But you know, right now, this is a problem that they're creating on their own. There's no need to do this. There's no need to repeal this. It has problems. Let's fix it. Why would you throw off 20 or 30 million people? Why would you exacerbate the opiate epidemic plaguing our country? Why would you really put the screws to rural hospitals who have really benefited from this bill? You don't have to do that. That's what's so mind-boggling about this entire thing. There's no reason to repeal. Let's just fix it. Let's just fix the problems that it has right now. And, you know, they're going to come and ask for Democrats, and they're going to want our help, when in the last 6 years they haven't lifted a finger to try to fix this thing.
Right. So are you going to help them? I mean, or is this payback time?
I will. No, I'm not here to pay anybody back. I'm not here to put my own agenda before the agenda of the American people or people who need health care. Look, if people in my district are thrown off their health care and they have nowhere else to go, I think we all have an obligation to try to fix it, try to be a part of the solution. But the reality of this is, and everybody should know, this does not need repealed. It needs fixed. And for them to do this is a political move that is going to damage a lot of people in the country. Now, if they're able to pass it, and it passes the Senate, and Trump signs it, and people don't have health care, then I'm going to be willing to have a conversation, because I want my constituents, the hundreds of thousands of people in Ohio who have benefited from this bill, the people who have mental health issues or addiction issues, or simply want preventative health care. I mean, if you go to an emergency room in Ohio, there's still people there that don't have a primary care physician. How do we fix that? Repealing it for people who now do have a primary care physician is not the proper way to go about this. But I'll stand ready if my people have lost their health care. But until that day happens, I'm going to fight like hell to make sure that they do not repeal this thing, because it's had so many positive benefits.
And very quickly, I just want to say that the Republicans believe that they are going to be able to come up with something during this year or 2 years before they say those 30 million people are thrown off. They've told us that that's their plan. But I do want to move on to another moment last night, because that was about deportation. As you know, there are the Dreamers who were brought here through no choice of their own, and now they're wondering about their status. Let me play for you an exchange between one of them and Speaker Ryan.
I've been in the United States for 21 years. I am protected from deportation because of the DACA program. It's clear that if DACA gets repealed, my daughter will lose her mother. Right. I want you to know that DACA has helped me. What do you think that I should be deported? And many of families in my situation should.
No, Angelica. First of all, I can see that you love your daughter, and you're a nice person who has a great future ahead of you. And I hope your future is here. But if you're worried about some deportation, force knocking on your door this year, don't worry about that.
What did you think of that response of his and any possible plans for deporting undocumented people?
Well, I mean, that's clearly right there, the heart and soul of the issue. Are we going to throw these folks out of the United States of America as opposed to allow them to be here, get educated here, become citizens of the United States? Donald Trump campaigned on throwing that family out of the country, or throwing the daughter, or throwing the mother, or just dissembling families. That's what he campaigned on. That's what he ran on. That's what he wanted to do. And again, we're going to fight to make sure that that doesn't happen. But that is a complete reversal. And I hope that Paul Ryan reflects the sentiment of the majority of the Republicans in the country, which it sounds like he may, that we should not be breaking up families in the United States. That's not what we're about. Yeah. My great-grandfather immigrated here from Italy. My great-great-great from Ireland. I mean, come on, this is America. Let's make this work. These people are here, these children are here, and we have an obligation to protect those kids and not send them back to what may be a very hostile environment.
Congressman Tim Ryan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of you, our international viewers, for watching us. CNN